The Golden State Warriors' future is unknown. As the Toronto Raptors finished the 2019 NBA Finals and won the franchise's first championship, they missed their chance to complete a three-peat on Thursday. Kevin Durant will not play much next season regardless of whether he chooses to keep his $31 million or splits it after rupturing his Achilles while trying to recover from an injury to rescue the club. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to NBA Reloaded. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates about NBA's news, players, and their lifestyle. With that being said, let's get started. Klay Thompson, who had a second series-ending injury in Game 6 when he tore his ACL, is now an unrestricted free agent. Draymond Green is a year away from receiving a hefty salary and could find himself on the trade market. Assuming everyone decided to return, it would be extremely expensive to keep everyone together. The dynasty might be coming to an end. It's a fantastic chance to take stock of the incredible run this has been over the past 5 years, whether it is or Stephen Curry and company managed to keep it alive. How did they change the NBA? And why are they always the esteemed body? And what are things change? Following a drought of 40 years, the Warriors won the West for 5 straight seasons and 3 NBA titles. The Splash Brothers revolutionized NBA elite shooting. Steve Kerr changed the rules of the game. At 6'6", Green mastered playing spot center. Father Time was a constant opponent for Shaun Livingston and Andre Iguodala, but they consistently prevailed. We previously criticized the team's management for boasting that they were league leaders by a wide margin, although it was partly accurate. Only LeBron James at the height of his powers and dynasty destroyer Kawhi Leonard could catch up to them because they were light years ahead. 3 victories in 5 years and 5 finals in a row would be an incredible accomplishment for any organization. But it's especially impressive given how dreadful the Warriors had been for the majority of the 20 years before the 2015 championship, at least until Curry's ascent. The most recent Warriors basketball generations, aside from the 2-year We Believe sprint led by Baron Davis and Steven Jackson, featured forgettably average stars, a changing coaching staff, and a ton of losses. It was a difficult 2 decades, but let's avoid naming any names. Then came this. The only similarity in the contemporary era is that this is the best run since the 1990s Bulls. The Warriors are happy. They ought to be. This has been a monumental age. Curry had a chance to force a Game 7 in this series. He had a chance with a classic Curry 3 from the right elbow after a strong off-ball movement, but he missed it. He will recall that shot. He may be haunted by it. After all that he has already accomplished, it shouldn't. He is the all-time best shooter. There are too many to hit. Steph has been the Warriors' mainstay for 7 years, leading them to 3 championships and 2 NBA MVP awards. Every moment of every day should make him proud. Klay doesn't regret anything. In this series, he gave the Warriors everything he had. Durant sacrificed his health for his team when they needed him, and as a result, he will suffer through a difficult recovery and lose a season that would have been his best. With the clock running out, Draymond gave it his all and slid across the field for the final time in Oakland. The Warriors aren't celebrating in June, but their supporters and all of us who have followed them over the previous 5 seasons should, regardless of what comes after. Chase Center, the Golden State Warriors' gleaming new home on the western bank of San Francisco Bay, has an exterior drum that resembles an apple peel, according to reports. Golden State achieved something last night that attempts to make sense of that odd visual metaphor. Warriors 2019-21's pathetic losers have been resurrected as champions. The leftovers have been put to good use, and the ruins of previous seasons have been converted into stunning victories. The apple peel is put back together, and the has-beens are now have-rings. The Warriors have returned. Even though the conclusion of the tale may sound similar, there is something unique about this Warriors championship. When questioned about how his perception of himself and his teammates had evolved over these playoffs, Draymond Green responded, "I didn't learn anything about myself. I knew I was resilient." A lot of what the Warriors did to end the championship series last night was also recognized, including their lightning-quick scoring runs, explosive offensive transitions, lethal long-range shooting, teamwork off the ball, trampolining enthusiasm, and familiar, tentacular elusiveness. However, even though the Warriors were already aware of who they were, this series will be remembered for altering how the rest of us perceive them. These Warriors were precise, effective, ferocious, and relentless, just like the champion Golden State teams of 2015, 2017, and 2018. They were, nonetheless, oddly likable. This represents a significant change for a squad that had lately come to represent all that was wrong with the NBA of today. This championship is a genuine feel-good story. Not quite a victory for the underdog, but a glowing tribute to what Tech Billions, the greatest shooter in basketball history, and basic perseverance can accomplish. This may seem strange to say about a team that has now won exactly half of the rings available over the past 8 seasons. But the depth of the Warriors' pandemic-era decline and the uncertainty that once surrounded their biggest stars' prospects of revival are enough to make this championship a genuine feel-good. Of course, around finals time, redemption stories abound. From Giannis's victory over the free-throw demons in 2017 to LeBron's triumph over his local insecurity in 2016. The successes of the majority of finals MVP in recent years have been portrayed, in one way or another, as valiant victories against the odds. The difference this time is that the championship team as a whole, as opposed to a single player, had been written off. No one gave this iteration of the Warriors, shorn of the spectral authority of Kevin Durant. And with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson returning after significant injury layoffs, much chance of adding a 4th title to the trio already bagged under Steve Kerr's watch. The Warriors throughout the previous 2 seasons had the exceptional distinction of being both fiercely despised and incredibly awful at basketball, making the reasons for this near-universal condemnation understandable. The Warriors' unrelenting success, particularly the 2 titles won back-to-back by the super team of 2016-18 that featured Kevin Durant, is largely to blame for the widespread animosity that the franchise has experienced nationwide. The Warriors, who bomb their opponents from beyond the 3-point line and are drawn into an ever-deepening alliance with Silicon Valley, seem to represent the increasing distance that various facets of American society have taken from one another since the turn of the century. They are data-driven, impersonal, and technocratic. The three-peat was ended by the Toronto Raptors' victory against them in the 2019 finals. However, even though they were victorious, the squad received little compassion. If anything, the most memorable moment of that series was when Warriors investor Mark Stevens, current net worth $4.5 billion, a member of the inner circle of tech tycoons and venture capitalists who own the team, shoved Raptors guard Kyle Lowry during a frank sideline argument in Game 3. Stevens' actions seemed to capture the air of haughty, affluent entitlement that had descended upon the team and its fans since the breakthrough championship of 2014-15. The Oakland-based team turned away from the good side of the bay and sprinted straight into the puffer vest-clad arms of the San Francisco tech elite. More automated success awaited. But instead, the VC Warriors started to lose, which was something they were not used to. A lot. Durant left for Brooklyn. Curry missed the entire season due to a broken hand. Thompson missed 2 seasons due to anterior cruciate ligament and Achilles tendon tears. 2 years spent in the bush were the outcome. The Warriors commenced their flop phase, placing last in the Western Conference in 2019-20, with a record of 15-50, and despite a slight improvement in the regular season in 2020-21, again missing the playoffs, the NBA adjusted almost permanently to postseasons free of Golden State's unique brand of long-shot magic. Big man teams with players like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo muscling up in the paint were once again in style. The degree to which these Warriors had fallen, the extent of their suffering, and the extent to which they had, to borrow Green's term of art, sucked, determined how likable they were once again, resurrected and glorious. However, it also says something about the rebuilding of a club that has proven it can succeed with young players and without the mercenary genius of a pre-made superstar like Durant. So what do you think about this? Are these things necessary? Will this be a successful experiment? Well, this brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed watching, do like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful content from us. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, peace.